Hello everyone, welcome to Red News. Today we come to you after a very short break with two operations which are executed by our intelligence agencies. Before we tell you about the operations, do not forget to subscribe to our channel Resonant News and to follow us on different social media platforms. So this video is about two operations which were executed by our intelligence agencies, one of which involved compromising a high-profile entity in Pakistan. Yes, you heard that right. We have posted proof of it in the video, and we have also posted a timeline of how things developed and how it climaxed. One more speciality of these operations is that it was carried out with the help of a friendly nation spy agency. Let's call it a symbiotic relationship, something that benefits both the parties involved. So, brace up. Twice in recent history of India, terrorism saw a sudden fall. Once it was between 2010 and 2012, and the other was between 2000 and 2004. We have already published a video on TST, Military Intel Unit, which was responsible for whittling down ISI-funded attacks in India between 2010 and 2012. You can watch it here. But what happened between 2000 and 2003? Apparently, a high-flying entity in Pakistan was compromised. The story starts with Jane's Information Group, the world's foremost source of intelligence information, reporting on July 2001 that the Indian spy agency RAW and Israeli spy agency Mossad have created 4 new entities to infiltrate Pakistan to target important religious personalities, military officers, journalists, judges, lawyers, and bureaucrats. This news sent a chill down the spine of many in Pakistan's spy agency ISI. Mossad and RAW had earlier been involved in cultivating good relations with some high-level entities inside Pakistan, one of which was Benazir Bhutto. Shocked, Benazir Bhutto is often associated with inciting violence against Kashmiri Pandits in late 1980s. Her provocative speeches, along with ISI-trained terrorists in the valley, led to the exodus of Kashmiri Hindus in the Kashmir Valley. In 1990, she was the PM of Pakistan when Major General Pervez Musharraf offered her a plan to capture Kargil. But she discarded it. When Benazir Bhutto government came to power again in 1993, Mrs. Bhutto realized that she was merely a puppet to Pakistan military. She decided to counter it. She appointed Rahman Malik as the additional director of FIA, Federal Investigation Agency. Malik launched a secret war against the radicalized elements and terrorists in Pakistan, which amounted to a direct attack on the Inter-Services Intelligence, which is ISI. His efforts equally dismayed the military establishment of Pakistan by reports of FIA contacting the Israeli Secret Service, Mossad, to investigate the terrorists. Pak army could sense this was like inviting both RAW and Mossad into Pakistan. Benazir Bhutto's government was not allowed to complete that term. One of the first acts of President Leghari after dismissing Benazir Bhutto on November 5, 1996 was to imprison Ghulam Asghar, the head of Federal Investigation Agency, who was suspended on non-specified corruption charges, while Rahman Malik, the additional director, was arrested. Soon, a coup led by Pervez Musharraf took place in Pakistan in 1999. The army then breathed a sigh of relief. So when in 2001, ISI came to know that RAW and Mossad could have more assets within Pakistan's higher echelons, it was on tenterhooks. RAW was on a buying spree back then. It had bought cross-border snooping devices and gadget. It is said RAW engaged in some successful disinformation, espionage, and sabotage against Pakistan in those days. But what worried Pak army the most was presence of Israeli defense in Kashmir. Israeli defense was apparently training the Indian soldiers, which was later confirmed by an Indian politician. The plan worked well. Terrorism reduced drastically, not just in Kashmir, but across India. Pakistan army was sure that Benazir Bhutto, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, was wittingly or unwittingly playing into the hands of RAW and Mossad masterminds. General Musharraf himself declared her as a security risk during a chat with Pakistan's leading editors and correspondents just before his referendum campaign. Much later, the Israeli newspaper Maariv reported that Mrs. Bhutto had requested United States Central Intelligence Agency CIA, Britain's Scotland Yard, and Israel's Mossad several weeks before the assassination to help provide for her protection. She was shot during a campaign in 2007. It is believed at one point RAW had decided to charm Musharraf himself. RAW chief C.D. Sahai had tipped ISI and helped thwart an attempt on life of Musharraf, who had then survived 2 assassination attempts in December 2003. In 2009, RAW and Intelligence Bureau of India jointly launched 400 snatch operations in Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh to apprehend and repatriate escaped terrorists to India. During these snatch operations, the suspect is brought to India from other countries and is questioned and interrogated and then is formally arrested. This is generally done to bypass a lengthy extradition process. Snatch operations are highly risky operations as it is human-based, which means intelligence gathered through humans is relied on. RAW has been performing many such snatch operations. Some famous terrorists nabbed are Bhupinder Singh Buddha of Khalistan Commando Force, Lashkar terrorists like Tariq Mahmood and Abdul Karim Tunda, and also Sheikh Abdul Khwaja. Khwaja was one of the handlers of 2008 Mumbai attacks and was involved in 4 major terror attacks. He was arrested in Colombo, Sri Lanka, and was then brought to India for a formal arrest. Similarly, Yasin Bhatkal, founder leader of terrorist organization Indian Mujahideen among others, was nabbed from Nepal. More recently in 2017, the kidnapping of Pakistan's Colonel Habib in Nepal is considered RAW's retaliation for Commander Kulbhushan Jadhav's incarceration in Pakistan. None of what is mentioned in the video is confidential. Most of it is available on open source. One of the most famous snatch operations in the world is by Mossad when it kidnapped Adolf Eichmann, a Nazi official who helped Germany carry out mass murder of 6 million Jews during World War II. For years, he evaded the authorities and lived in relative peace in Argentina, that is, till Mossad kidnapped him.